Assalamu alaikum, shalom everyone, Islam to all the Moors. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. Our primary textbook is the Astrology of the Old Testament, or the Lost Word Regained. Published in 1892, the author is Carl Anderson. The link is in the community page here on our YouTube channel. So get the link, download it, print it, and you'll have it. So we're still on Virgo. So we're almost finished with Virgo. Actually, we're not almost finished with Virgo. According to my previous plan, we would have finished Virgo today, but I decided, because it's Virgo, I decided to also do Virgo in the Devil's Pulpit. All right, so y'all can see my copy of the Devil's Pulpit is pretty beat up, but we're gonna go into that on page 129. So this is the ninth discourse in the Devil's Pulpit on page 129. We're going to get into that today. All right, but we're going to finish up. Virgo in our supplemental textbook, which is the Gospel in the Stars. All right, this is by Seiss, Joseph A. Seiss, published in 1882. Published in 1882. Okay? All right. So let's get with it. So we just have to read the last page, and we'll have this finished. Y'all put a 1 in the comment section if you hear music. Can you do that for me? If you can hear the music, can you put a 1 in the comment section for me? I don't know why these people are so rude. This is a big place, right? Give me one second, though. So let me check to see if I can hear this. I'm glad they're leaving. And one of the things I've learned by being in Asia, no matter what country you go to, when people are rude, Asian people will say they're low class. I don't know how they learned that expression, but they will actually say they're low class. But of course, I'm not doing that. I just observe what they say. And okay, y'all, so we're on page 24. I'm glad they left, of the Gospel in the Stars. And we're gonna wrap this up, all right? Let me move this. Hold up. All right, so here's how it goes. So summary on Virgo. It is no part of my design in these lectures. So this is Joseph A. Seiss, the author, speaking. To enter upon the exposition of all that is implied and expressed in the various symbols applied to Christ. In other words, the author is saying, by exposition, he's saying he's not giving you every last detail. Okay, he didn't give you every last detail. There's much more, according to him. All right? Much more on the topic. So it is in no part of my design in these lectures to enter upon the exposition of all that is implied and expressed in the various symbols applied to Christ. So what do we learn so far from this? that there are a lot of symbology, so we need to learn how to read the symbols. Okay? He didn't say it directly, but it's there if you can see it. Okay? Expressed in the various symbols applied to Christ. And remember, in Freemasonry, there's a difference between Jesus and Christ. So Christ is the title of the sun in the position of the summer solstice on June 22nd. All right? So it reaches its highest declination in the northern part of space. So the declination, the distance from the equator to the meridian or the summer solstice, okay, in this case. All right? So the sun will take on the title of the Christ. And then, of course, the sun begins to decline in altitude after June 25th. The sun begins to decline in altitude after June 25th. So it begins to fall toward the south. And eventually it will fall past the fall or autumn equinox, where it becomes crucified, or it crosses below. Y'all got it? It crosses below the fall equinox. So the sun is being humiliated, right? There's nothing the SUN sun can do to stop it. It's the course of nature. So natural laws force the sun to fall. So the days become shorter and the nights become longer. This is why John the Baptist said, he must increase and I must decrease. Okay? He must increase and I must decrease. But that's another story. We're going to get into that at another time. But that's, of course, in the Devil's Pulpit. So if y'all want to learn more about that, you just go right into the Devil's Pulpit. The link is in the description area of this video. So let's keep it going. Except so far as necessary to show that what is written in the scriptures is likewise written on the stars. So the author is telling us he gave us enough information. He gave us enough information, enough facts and evidence from his point of view to support his argument, his thesis, that, as he says it here, let me use his own language, the gospel in the stars, or, which is the title of the book, or as he says here, to show that what is written in the scriptures is likewise written in the stars. And if you watch the just even the last session that I did, you'll see that that's not true. You'll see it's not true. He did not do that. And I showed you, I brought out the evidence against that as I went through the class. So y'all can watch that. All right? This whole notion about Butes, or Butes, however you pronounce it, etc., etc., etc. And you'll see, well, at least from my point of view, you do your own critical thinking and analysis, come to your own conclusion. But I put the information there in that video. From my point of view, he did not do that. Okay, he did not do that, and I I discussed the reasons why in the last video, and I think in the last class or session too. All right. So video, session, class, I'm talking about the same thing. Okay. Y'all just go and watch it. So in my opinion, he failed to do that. All right. He failed to do it. So why is this important? Why is it important to begin with? Right. In the first place, rather. Because there are two zodiac projections. There's a circumpolar zodiac projection, which is vastly more ancient than the solar zodiac projection. Now, were they at one time one zodiacal projection, and then they were separated or parsed out, and then the circumpolar zodiac projection was hidden? Most people don't know anything about the circumpolar zodiac projection, which is ages and ages older than the solar zodiac projection. So we have to ask our question. We have to ask the question, why was it hidden? Why is it hidden? So I'm going to ask a simple question to the Moors. So we're to return to the state of mind of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. So y'all, you Hebrew Israelites, don't get it twisted. You Kemetic, you Kemetic people, don't get it twisted. A Moor is an aboriginal man or woman without consideration of bloodline, okay? A Moor is sprung from the soil. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. All right? That's what I mean. I'm not talking about a club, a religion, or anything like that. I'm talking about the lawful definition of a Moor. Those of us who are sprung from the soil, the indigenous or aboriginal, the original men and women. Okay? Period. Okay? So don't get twisted up in your thinking about divisions of nations and enmities and all of these other things that they have done to divide us as a people, okay? As a people. Don't look at this through the lens of religion, because that's not what I'm talking about at all. All right, so let's just get that, let's handle that right away, and I lost my thought. Well, yeah, that's one of the things that, that's really sad. These Bible editors, these scribes, they have done Jeremiah 8:8 stuff, which means, writing lies in the book of the law to separate the autochthonous Moors, to pit us against each other, to divide and conquer us, when we're all one people. All one people. All one people. But where was I going, y'all? I remember. So here's a question, the simple question to the Moors. If you are an autochthonous Moor sprung from the soil, if you are not a hybrid, if you are a man with or without a womb, I'm talking to you. If you are mankind, I'm not talking to you. I'm not saying I don't respect you, it's just the question is not for you. But here's a question. If the circumpolar zodiac projection or zodiacal projection is, let's say, 50, 100, 1,000 times more ancient, 1,000 times older, 10,000 times older than the zodiac, than the solar or the ecliptical zodiacal projection, which is said, let me tell y'all, it is said from everything I can find so far, the solar zodiacal projection began, and y'all know where I got, well, let me say it first, began with the dynastic pharaohs of Kemet. Yeah, they brought in the solar zodiacal projection. In other words, the transition from the circumpolar zodiacal projection with its seven houses or seven stations, transition into the solar or ecliptical zodiacal projection when the dynastic period of the Kemetic pharaohs came in. So pre-dynastic Kemet, pre-dynastic Egypt. Before that, it was the circumpolar zodiac. When the pharaohs came in, when the dynasties came in, like ruling families, y'all get it? Ruling families. When the dynastic pharaohs came in, then came in the solar or ecliptical zodiacal projection. And the focus changed, or let's say transition, to the sun, the S-U-N sun, and its apparent path through each of the constellations. So every 30 degrees, right, y'all? Every 30 degrees represents a constellation. Or every 30 days, all right? So the span of 30 days. So 1 degree per day. So 30 days represents one constellation. You can draw the image of what it looks like, whatever you decide. The sun itself is said to be 3 degrees. 3 degrees. All right, so those 12 constellations, or 30 days, times 12 gives you your full circle, 360 degrees. Y'all see it? This is why Christ entered his ministry at 30 degrees. And he died, at 30 years old, and he expired at 33 years old. Y'all see it? So the sun exits a zodiac sign at 30 degrees. The sun itself is 3 degrees, so that's 30 plus 3, which is 33 degrees, and 3 plus 3 is 6, which is a perfect man. That's Adam. Is it Adam Kadmon, y'all? I believe so. Yeah, 6. And 3 is the first perfect number. So I'm getting that out of the Gospel and the Zodiac, all right? Y'all can check that. I think the link is in the description area of this video. So I'm giving you all of this information because we're supposed to return to the mindset and the principles. That means the science, right? The science of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. So let's go back to the question. The solar or ecliptical zodiacal projection began with the dynastic period of the pharaohs of Kemet, of Egypt. So we're dealing with how many thousands of years? Maybe 4,000? I don't know the exact number, but somewhere around 4,000. Maybe even 6,000 if you look at it biblically. Maybe 6,000, y'all. Because the Bible is based on, or so they say, right, in Christianity, they say it's based on 6,000 years. So what's our heritage? Is it in the main the circumpolar zodiac projection? Or is it in the main the solar or ecliptical zodiacal projection? That's the question. See, that's the question of all questions. And then this transition, what's the cause of the transition? Why did it change from circumpolar, which is the north, to the solar or ecliptical, which is the apparent path of the sun? And here's the big thing too. I almost forgot to mention this. When it shifted from the circumpolar, which is the north orientation, and its 7 stations, they started paying attention. Well, from the sources that I learned this from, it says they began to worship Ra. Of course, they didn't worship the sun. Ra is the sun. Ra as in rays of the sun, as in Amen Ra, Ra, rays of the sun. And hence we have the template of all religions, the solar or ecliptical zodiac. And that's the significance of it. All these religions are based on the solar zodiac, which means the mother and the child, the personification of the sun, sun, and then nature personified as gods, and the planets personified as gods. Y'all see my point? Y'all see my point? So now we're getting at the origin of religion and what existed prior to these religions. And it must have been something big and worth knowing about, otherwise they would not have hidden it. And I've been looking into this, and so far the only thing I've found on the circumpolar zodiac has been mostly negative. Demons and gods and magic. But of course, as I dig into it, I'll be able to figure it out. But so far, it seems like they've made it spooky, scary to discourage people, to scare people from looking into it. All right, but eventually I will figure it out. Rest assured on that, and I'm gonna share it with you. All right. So anyway, let's continue, because it is our heritage, right? It's our heritage. Now, it could very well be that the circumpolar and the ecliptical zodiac was one projection. That could very well be. It was one projection. But if that's the case, we need to return to that, right? But in any event, we need to get away from, escape, whatever it takes, the religions, and go back to the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, which is nature, right? Which is nature. And we do things for ourselves, and we live in harmony with nature. All right? So once we deal with this religious issue, which is rooted in the solar or ecliptical zodiac. See, once we can tell that whole story, then my position is that people will see it and they'll be more easily able to walk away from it and not be afraid, and not to revert back to religion, not to get scared, get punked out when they get put under pressure. Right? They're not going to all of a sudden become a Christian chump again. All right, so let's continue. And insofar as this first sign and its deacons are concerned, I think it must be admitted that the result is very marvelous. All right, so this is so problematic, y'all, for me, from my point of view. Because Virgo, we deal with Virgo, that's Mary and Jesus, right? Mary and Jesus, mother and child. But of course, it's scandalized, right? Scandalized. But then we also deal with Coma, the deacon Coma. Do y'all remember? Coma is one of the constellations. It's mother and child. So I dealt with this already. Hold on. That's Coma, the constellation Coma, right? The desired one is baby Jesus, or any solar deity, right? Any solar deity. I think there are a total of 16. So that puts us right, that puts someone in the mindset of religion, okay? Like this author is able to finesse, at least with this part, he's able to finesse his way for unsuspecting people who maybe don't know much about the topic into believing that the gospel, as he's telling it, the gospel of Jesus, he didn't say anything about the other 15 solar deities, right? Or the history of the solar deities prior to Christianity. But he's saying it's written in the stars, right? And I've shown that that's not the case. But then we have December 25th, where the S-U-N son, who is the S-O-N son, being reborn. Being reborn. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. Let me show y'all. So, some people believe that the beginning of the year, but this is in old times. Some people believe that the beginning of the year began on December 25th. Right? On December 25th, which is the end of the winter solstice. Right? The end of the winter solstice when the S-U-N sun begins to ascend. Okay? When the S-U-N sun begins to ascend, going northward. Right? And if you look, so if this is December 25th, this is June 25th, summer solstice, winter solstice. John the Baptist said, I must descend. The sun is going down, and y'all will find out more about this if you read the Devil's Pulpit, or if I find a place to talk about it in greater detail as we go through. But as the sun begins to decline or fall toward the fall equinox, right? So so December 24th is the festival of John in the Catholic Church. So John is falling. The sun is falling, right? The days are getting shorter, nights are longer. But at December 25th, baby Jesus is born and the sun is ascending, going northward. So Jesus is rising, John is falling. This is why John the Baptist said, I must decline, but he must increase. All right? So these are correlations that we should be aware of. But at the same time, we have to, maybe I'm wrong, but we have to acknowledge that these concepts are strongly embedded in our people's psyche. Yeah, strongly embedded in our people's psyche. And they do influence what we do and what we don't do. Right? What we do and what we don't do, mainly out of fear, because it's religion. Fear of burning in hell, or fear of not being resurrected, and all of that stuff. But Virgo is something we need to deal with in depth. That's all I'm saying. We need to deal with it in great detail, because it is the basis. It is the basis of all of the religions, right? So I'm not here to make a decision for anyone. My purpose is to present to you the evidence, and you use your own faculty of critical reasoning and come to your own conclusion. But my goal is to help as best I can, myself and you. I'm talking about the autochthonous Moors, return to the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, regardless of what that might reveal. Regardless of what it might reveal. Okay, y'all? So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. And insofar as this first sign, that's Virgo, and its deacons are concerned, I think it must be admitted that the result is very marvelous. I must it's a typo. I'm trying to figure out what this sentence says. There's a typo. Y'all see that? Well, it looks like a typo right now. Do y'all see that? So give me 1 second. Let me try to figure out what does that say. So it looks like I, the letter I, and then LL. So I'm going to say IO. Maybe he missed the apostrophe. I apostrophe LL as in I will. I don't know what or ill. ILL, ill as in sickness. I don't know. But let me try to work my way through this, y'all. So I'll must be the mind, and dull the apprehension which cannot detect identity between God's sign in the text and this sign in the heavens. I have absolutely no idea what this author is trying to say here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay, so blank must be the mind, and dull the apprehension which cannot detect identity between God's sign in the text and this sign in the heavens. Well, let me go on to the next sentence. Maybe I can figure it out. Are they not a piece of each other, and hence from one and the same divine source? Okay. So he's talking about two things here. He says detect identity between capital God's sign and the text. So that's one thing. So the sign, so capital God's sign in the text, and this sign in the heavens. Oh, ill. So this is ill must be the mind, and dull the apprehension. He's saying only a sick mind. Ill must be the mind, so a sick mind, and dull the apprehension. He's saying a sick mind and a person who does not have normal capacity to reason. So you got a sick mind, and you have poor reasoning skills. That's what he's saying. Let me write this note down in case I need it in the future. So sick mind and poor reasoning skills. This is what he's saying. All right? Ill must be the mind, and dull the apprehension, which cannot detect identity between capital God sign and the text and this sign in heaven. In other words, if you read the text, and you cannot see that the text is pointing to his story, the story that his thesis, right? As a sign in heaven, then you, my friend, according to him, have a sick mind and poor reasoning skills. Now that's what he said. I didn't say it. He said it. Do you agree with that conclusion? Do you agree with that conclusion? For me, that's almost like bullying. That's almost like bullying or shaming someone. Well, if you don't see it my way, you got a sick mind and poor reasoning skills. Y'all see it? If you don't see it my way, you have a sick mind and poor reasoning skill. Well, this is typical of the priesthood. Do y'all agree or disagree? This is typical of the priesthood. My way or the highway, right? Hold on, y'all. I need to take a drink of something. Well, I disagree with him for the reasons that I discussed in the last session and the session before that. So I think 90, number 90, 89, and possibly even 87 or 88. 88, maybe even 87, okay? And they are, and let me say this. Everybody should go back and you can read this on your own, or you can listen to the classes that I did. I did this whole book, The Devil's Pulpit, all right? This is by Robert Taylor, published in 1857. The Devil's Pulpit, Astro-Theological Sermons. All right, now, this is, in my opinion and a lot of other people, this is the best work done on astrotheology. For the solar projection. All right. So what he does in that book, he takes you through the etymology, the grammar, the history, and the mythology. So if you have that in your background and you read something like this, then you can immediately start seeing the finesse. Either that, because remember, he's a high-level Freemason and he's pushing Christianity. Whereas The Devil's Pulpit by Robert Taylor, he's not pushing Christianity. In fact, he's exposing Christianity and Judaism as being pagan. In other words, having their origin in what Christians call pagan or heathen systems of worship. Okay, y'all? He's exposing it using philology and science. exposing it. Whereas this author, Joseph A. Seiss, is trying to make the case that the Zodiac is proving Christianity is God's religion. Y'all see it? All right. So anyway, let's keep it going. And they are not of peace with each other, and hence from one and the same divine source. That's a question he's asking. Right? Are they, is the gospel or the scriptural text and these constellations, zodiac signs, their deacons and everything else, they come from the same source? Because they agree. He's asking the question. He wants you to agree with him. Here is the woman whose seed was to bruise the serpent's head. Right? Here is the woman, that's Virgo, whose seed, but actually that's Virgo and Coma. In astrology, here is a woman whose seed is supposed to bruise the serpent's head. Okay, you see she has a sheaf of corn and wheat in her hands. All right? The seed is supposed to be the Messiah. All right? And then here is Coma with her son, who is the desired one. And that desired one is the seed, y'all. Y'all see Virgo there, right? With her staff. Okay, so let's keep it going. So the author continues, here is the woman whose seed was to bruise the serpent's head. Right? And this puts us in the state of mind that the serpent is bad. Right? The serpent is bad. The serpent is evil. But is that the case in astrology? And who is this serpent? And we covered this maybe 5 or 6 sessions or live streams ago. Who is this serpent? As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find this for y'all in let me not speak. It's hard for me to do 2 things at one time. C.M. Bay's work, Clock of Destiny. Let me see if I can find, I think it's volume 1. Let's see if I can find the serpent woman. And then I'm going to try to keep going. I believe it's the Clock of Destiny, where he talks about the serpent woman. But give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, hi. Okay. You can share my table. I'll ask them. This for me? Oh, the batteries? Yeah. That was fast, really. So let me wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. You just took the table? But look, you can't. How many people are? No, the door. No? Maybe we can. Sorry, yeah. No. Hold on, y'all. Uh, Give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch tables, okay, y'all? Give me 1 second. Thank you. No. I prefer here. I prefer. What? Then what? Evan, no, I prefer here. Huh? Huh? You can put it here. Y'all, just a minute. I'm sorry. Don't worry. We can make it work, okay? Oh my goodness. It's so hard to get started. Let's see. Oh, all right, thank you. So that's the batteries?
Battery.
Really? You know, thank you so much for helping me. I really, really appreciate that, huh? All right, y'all. So today is a good day. Today is a good day. So I think this is yours. Let me see, how can we do this? Let me put this away. Do you have enough room? Do you have enough room? Do you have enough room? Do you need more space? Are you okay?
It's okay.
It's good? All right. So I just need some time. Okay. Are you in a rush? You sure? All right, y'all. So I gotta get my, last time I dropped a glass, I had to pay for it. So don't drop anything. It's like 30,000.
Me?
No, I dropped one of these, it was 30,000. I had to pay.
30,000.
30,000.
Okay, reasonable.
Reasonable?
Yeah.
No, it's not. I thought it was tacky. Tacky. It means, tacky means like low class. Tacky. Like in the West, if you drop a glass, they don't make you pay for it. Yeah, they don't make you pay.
You pay for everything.
Huh? Yeah, you pay for everything. I was shocked when they asked me to pay for it.
That's quite reasonable.
No, it's not.
That's quite normal.
No, it's not reasonable. I don't like it.
Bé ơi, cái bắt wifi lại gì? Do you have the password?
Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, y'all. Let's get back to it. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot where we were, so I'm just gonna keep it going. CM Bay. CM Bay. So the Serpent Woman, if I remember correctly, CM Bay discusses the Serpent Woman. Is it the Serpent Woman? And Clock of Destiny, Volume 1. If my memory serves me correctly. when he talks about the woman. Let me see. But y'all know what? If I taught this regularly, I would remember. I would remember where everything is. But because I don't do it every day, I don't remember exactly where everything is. One second. But if y'all haven't read The Clock of Destiny, you have done yourself a disservice. You really need to read The Clock of Destiny. You can download, actually, Clock of Destiny Volume 1, Volume 2, and the Zodiac Constitution on enforcetheconstitution.org. One second, y'all. I'm going to spend a few more minutes trying to find this. If I don't find it, I'm going to have to continue because I don't want to get stuck. Most likely I'll find it and talk about it in the next session if I don't find it now. Let me see. All right. So I see something on page 37. So let me. All right. So no, this is not what I'm talking about, but in case we need to refer back to it, I'm going to go through it. It's just one paragraph. So here's a reference in the Clock of Destiny, Volume 1, to snake or serpent. Page 37, the second paragraph. The myth of quote-unquote Adam and Eve and the quote-unquote tree of forbidden fruit is also founded upon the Earth's annual revolution of 360 degrees. So that's a circle. Oops. That's a circle, y'all. Right? So if you can imagine that, a circle representing the edges, for example, the outside edges of space. The outside edges of space, okay? Now from the circumpolar or the northern part, So there's a North Star, right? And there are 7 stations. So in that sense, you have 7, or the circle 7, right? North Gate, South Gate, East Gate, West Gate. So we have circle 7 days of the week, so on and so forth. But let's continue. So the myth of Adam and Eve and the tree of forbidden fruit is also founded upon the Earth's annual revolution of 360 degrees. The circling Earth crossing the equator, so here's the equator, all right, 0 degrees. If this projects out into space like that, it becomes the celestial equator, also 0 degrees, okay? So the celestial equator is Earth's equator, which is an imaginary line running through the middle of the Earth, all right? So the circling Earth crossing the equator, this is the celestial equator, into the northern hemisphere. So that circle cut in half, northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, okay, y'all? So the circling Earth crossing the equator, the celestial equator, into the northern hemisphere on the Tropic of Cancer on March 21. All right, so most books are going to say March 21 or March 22. So at the winter solstice, December 22nd, JC the Christ figure dies in religion. That's a remix of the natural phenomena of the SUN sun no longer casting a 1 degree shadow on the sundial between December 22nd through December 24th, but the very first second of the beginning of December 25th, the sun cast a full 1 degree shadow on the sundial. So because our ancestors had a concrete paradigm or worldview, we would say that the sun, the SUN sun, died and was born again on December 25th. Right, y'all? That's remixed in religion as JC the Christ figure, 1, dying and being resurrected. Clear? And 2, baby Jesus being born. All right, so it has those 2 meanings. So let's continue. And the Tropic of Cancer is 23.5 degrees north. So here we have 0 degrees, which is Earth's equator. If you go north 23.5 degrees, that will be the Tropic of Cancer. If you go south 23.5 degrees, that's going to be the Tropic of Capricorn. All right, so that whole bandwidth, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, is called the coffee belt. It's called the coffee belt. It's the most productive band of land on the planet, and it expands through the globe or across the globe. Okay, y'all? So this is what the author is talking about. And recrossing the equator, so remember we talked about Virgo in the beginning of this class and how important Virgo is, especially in religion, okay? How our culture was remixed into religion and then sold back to us and used to conquer us. So as the SUN sun is born again, can y'all see me? Born again on December 25th, it ascends. It ascends and then it passes over the celestial equator. And here is what we have. Do y'all see that? Okay. This is the vernal or spring equinox. That has been remixed into religious holidays called Passover for the Jews and Easter for the Christians. Everybody see it? Passover for the Jews, Easter for the Christians, and the first day of spring for those who know better. All right, or in other words, it is the beginning of the natural year. Of course, it's the beginning of the natural year since the Christians have taken power. And that's my opinion, right? But let's continue talking about what else happens. So when the sun crosses over, or let me say passes over the celestial equator on March 21, March 22nd, the sun is now in the house of Aries. All right? The sun is now in the house of Aries, or Aries the ram. Aries the ram, which is supposed to be the first zodiac sign. The first zodiac sign. All right? The first of 12. And then, of course, Aries is the ram or the lamb of God. Y'all see the connection? Aries the ram, remixed in religion as the Lamb of God. But let's keep it going because the author is taking us someplace. So let's follow. Let's follow the author, see where he takes us. The circling Earth crosses the equator into the northern hemisphere of the Tropic of Cancer on March 22nd, and recrossing the equator in the southern hemisphere on the Tropic of Capricorn on September 23rd. So what is he saying? So we're back at 0 degrees. This is the vernal or spring equinox. We go to the opposite end of the same line. This is September 23rd, which is the fall or autumn equinox. So from June 22nd to the 25th, y'all should remember, we discussed it earlier, June 24th is the festival of John the Baptist, where John the Baptist gets his head cut off in religion, which is a remix of astrological phenomena having to do with one of the stars in a particular constellation being above the celestial equator, but the rest is below. Y'all see it? Remixed into a religious festival. But that's another story you can get out of the devil's pulpit. So now the sun is falling. It's falling, literally moving southward. And then it crosses below the celestial equator, which in religion is remixed as Christ getting crucified. And in the Christian iconography, you'll see JC, the Christ figure, on a cross, and you'll see Mary, his mother Mary, standing next to him. So Mary is the zodiac sign Virgo. So the sun is being crucified on September 23rd. Right, that's why Virgo is there. Right, Virgo. The sun gets crucified. So the vernal equinox, the sun is moving northward, passing over the celestial equator. And then the fall equinox, the sun is falling below. The SUN sun is falling below and getting crucified. All right, y'all? So, Capricorn, in terms of the tropics, is 23.5 degrees south. And then Aries is 23.5 degrees north, the Tropic of Cancer. Did I say that right? No, I'm sorry. That's not right. The solstitial lines, sorry y'all. Cancer is the highest point when the sun reaches its highest point in the sky. That's 23.5 degrees north. And then when you go down to the opposite end of the line, which is Capricorn, which is the winter solstice, that's 23.5 degrees south. All right? So here are the tropics. So we have the tropics and then the celestial equator. I can't believe I made that mistake. So sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. The tropics are the solstitial lines. All right. I hope it's clear. Now let's keep it moving. So the Tropic of Capricorn on September 23rd is referred to in Christian mythology as snake or serpent. And the science as serpentine. And the science as serpentine. Now listen, y'all. Be wise as the serpent. We all know that quote, right? We've all heard that before. The above diagram speaks one universal language, also equals the power of 10,000 words in terms of concrete facts. Where do we go from here? So hold on, y'all. So what I want to get to is the serpent woman being the woman with the womb. Okay? That's what I want to get to. So I need to find that part. So just give me a second, y'all. I think I saw it in this book. If I didn't, I'll find it. If it's here, I'll find it. Either way, I'll find it, okay? It'll come to me, y'all. Don't worry. It will come to me. I don't see it. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Hey, y'all, scholars, I don't see it. So if it's not here, then I'm going to find out where it is so I can share it with y'all, because we covered it before. It's just not coming to my mind. But I want y'all to see how they have taken our science, our culture, and then made it into something bad. Why? To scare you away from it. I can't find something. I can't find some information that I want to share. It's not on Google.
You research the Microsoft tool.
It's in the book. Not on Google yet. Y'all, this is a powerful book, scholars. Okay, page 38, Clock of Destiny, Volume 2. Make sure I got that right. This is not the serpent, but it has to do with the topic we've been talking about. So Clock of Destiny, Volume 2, page 38. Let me show. So again, you can download both volumes on enforcetheconstitution.org, okay? Y'all see that? So page 38. So take a look at this arrow. Take a look at this arrow. Y'all see the arrow I just drew? I'm going to go through this paragraph. All right? Y'all tell me what you think. Let me pause the video on the replay. I'm going to hold it here for a moment for y'all to read it, and then I'm going to go through it. All right. Now remember, we're talking about earlier the circumpolar zodiac and the solar or ecliptical zodiac projections. All right, keep that in mind. So the sons of a widow, this would be the woman, right? The man with the womb. So the sons of a widow, she has no husband. C.M. Bay talks about that on page read the previous 5 pages or something like that, and y'all will see, maybe even the previous 2 pages, that the woman has no husband. No one knows where the woman came from. That's his point, but you have to read it. The sons of a widow, so she has a son, no father, therefore the widow's son. The sons of a widow, the sons of a woman, are the only, listen, supreme beings of whom can stand in the form of a cross. So this is Adam Kadmon. Give me 1 second. Let me. So, y'all see arm. Well, the arm, leg, arm, head. Y'all see the 5 points? Connect those. You got a 5-pointed star. This is what he's talking about. That's a perfect man, or the Zodiac man. Okay. So the sons of a widow are the only supreme beings of whom can stand in the form of a cross, 5-pointed star, and in a straight line, whether standing erect or standing down. So with the arms extended and the legs extended, that's a 5-point star. With the arms at your side, okay, or even with your arms like this, which is the top cross, right? So the position of the sun, perhaps 5,000 years ago, the sun was ascending in Taurus the bull. Y'all, I don't have to do this again, right? Okay? So standing, arms out, forms a 5-pointed star. With the arms to the side, let's say you're laying down, or let's say, let me let the author speak. Let me not give it away. Let me let the author speak. All right? So the sons of a widow are the only supreme beings of whom can stand in the form of a cross, 5-pointed star, and a straight line, whether standing erect or lying down. When suns are lying asleep, they are lying on a dead level. When suns are lying asleep, they are lying on a dead level. And Hiram Abiff is lying dead in a shallow grave. Hiram Abiff is lying dead in a shallow grave. And Hiram Abiff is us. And in a straight line, whether standing erect or lying down. When suns are lying asleep, they are lying on a dead level. And when standing erect, they are perpendicular at right angle of 90 degrees of their previous position on the dead level. So in other words, when you're lying like this, you're dead. When you're lying like this, you're what? What does he say? And when standing erect, this is the solstitial line, they are perpendicular at right angle of 90 degrees. So here's the circle. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find. Let me show you an image. Are you okay? You're fine. Be patient, y'all. This is going someplace. Y'all see that? So the horizontal line is the equinox or the equinoctial line, and that vertical line is the solstitial line. All right? So the horizontal line represents that man, Hiram Abiff, from what we're reading here, in the shallow grave with his arms on his side. Right? And then the vertical line is the man standing erect. All right? So let's continue. When suns are lying asleep, they are lying on the dead level. And when standing erect, they are perpendicular at right angles. So y'all listen. The angle between the vertical and horizontal line is 90 degrees. All right, so each area is 90 degrees. All right, 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90, 360 degrees. Y'all see it? All right, so 90 degrees represents the square. The square. Okay. He continues, the author continues. And when standing erect, they are perpendicular at right angle of 90 degrees of their previous position on the dead level. Okay? On the dead level. When suns stand erect, their head represents the North Pole, and their feet represent the South Pole. Well, guess what, y'all? Yeah, we have a North and a South Pole on Earth. But we also have a North and a South Pole in space. That would be the circumpolar zodiac. I don't know why I didn't notice that before. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me see if I can find an image. I didn't notice that until now. So y'all, let me find a good image, okay? Give me 1 moment. Let me find a good image. Okay, unfortunately, they make this confusing, but do y'all see where it says the North Celestial Pole? Can y'all see that? Everybody see that? Here. Wait. This blue area. Do y'all see the North Celestial Pole? So this is this horizontal line here. The horizontal line here, that's the celestial equator. And the circle, that circle is the celestial meridian, the boundaries of space, okay? So what we're looking at here is circle 7, actually. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find the ecliptic for you. So the diagonal line is the ecliptic. All right? But let me show you another issue. So the man's head standing erect, his head is standing at the North Pole and his feet at the South Pole. All right, y'all? Do y'all see that? When he sleep, his head and feet are at the equinoctial points. That would be the solar zodiacal projection. So when we're asleep, if I'm interpreting this correctly, when we are sleeping, we're lying down. Or our state of mind is the solar zodiacal projection, meaning that we are in religion or influenced by religion. But when we wake up, our mind is now the mindset of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, which is the circumpolar zodiacal projection. Now, I'm just talking based upon what I'm seeing here on page 38 in Clock of Destiny, Volume 2. But this is what it appears to me so far. Here we go. This is much easier to understand. Do y'all see here at the top of the image? It says North Celestial Pole. See, the man is standing vertically. Y'all see that? North Celestial Pole. That's the head, and then the feet are at the south. But at the celestial equator, the man will actually be laying down. Okay, so he would be dead, or Hiram Abiff, dead in a shallow grave. That's that would be the solar or ecliptical zodiac projection. Why? Because it is the angle between the celestial equator and the ecliptic. All right? Which is, in a lot of books, 23.5 degrees. They measure that angle. Okay? With I think it's called a gynometer. All right? So that's what's happening. This is what I'm seeing. But anyway, let's continue. When the suns stand erect, their head represents the North Pole. So is he talking about the North Celestial Pole? And their feet represents the South Pole. Is he talking about the South Celestial Pole? Well, y'all take a look at it and y'all make your own decisions. You can do more research on this, right? Continues. When lying on a dead level, their head represents east. That would be Aries. That would be Aries. That would be the first day of spring, according to modern astrologers, right? The first day of spring. The remix in religion, Judaism, is the Passover, the sun passing over the celestial equator on March 21, March 22. In Christianity, the remix is Easter. I think Easter is the first Sunday after the first day of spring or something like that. Do y'all see it? Take a look. So when the man is sleeping, look at the horizontal line here. When lying on a dead level, their head, the man's head represents the east, which is Aries. And their feet, the man's feet represents the west. So that would be the fall equinox. The fall equinox, okay? The fall equinox. So the equinoctial points represent the man dead, lying in a dead position with his arms to the side. These two positions of suns form the universal cross, which represents latitude north and south, and longitude east and west. This fact makes woman and sons the great I am. Correlate that with Exodus chapter 3. Makes woman and sons the great I am in life. Also, the great I am is masculine mental energy, the Hermetic Law of mental gender. Makes woman and sons the great I am in life, creation, and perfection. In other words, the foundation of geometry. Geometry, measurement of Earth. To do that, we use mathematics. We use number scale 0 to 9, and then back to 0. Suns can also stand in the form of a cross with their arms extended from each side. They can also stand in the form of a 5-pointed star with their feet far apart. Their head, number 1, their right arm, number 2, their left arm, number 3, their right foot, number 4, and left foot, number 5. Thus, suns represent the 5 great principles of woman's universal supreme perfection in the course of 9 months. All right, and then he goes into another topic. Well, you know what? Let me keep going. Just one more paragraph. The six-pointed star of the Moorish nation referred to as the quote-unquote Jewish Star of David. The first triangle represents the north gate, which is the summer. That's the summer solstice, June 22nd. All right? The north gate, the summer season. The second represents the south gate, the winter season. Okay? So, north gate, summer solstice, June 22nd to June 25. We have the festival of John the Baptist on June 24th. And then at the end, the extreme end of the opposite side, remember this is the North Pole and then the South. So same line, opposite end. Then we have the winter solstice, which is December 22nd through December 25th. So summer solstice, Tropic of Capricorn, or the zodiac sign Capricorn. Winter solstice, we have Tropic of Capricorn, or the zodiac sign Capricorn. All right, this is what the author is saying. So he continues. These two triangles together form a six-pointed star. Summer and winter, or north and south, all there is, as above, so below. That is the Hermetic Law of correspondence. Or, he continues, or the two tables of stone. The two tables of stones, of course, would be the commandments, or what they call in religion, the 10 Commandments. All right? As above, so below, or the two tables of stone. Right? The two tables of stone. So the commandments, which are what, y'all? Natural law. And Thoth, the Kemetic deity Thoth, is known as what? Well, he's known for having a stylus and a pen and a table that he writes the laws. He writes the laws on a table. Where does he get the laws? He gets the laws from the gods. Right? But the gods is what? Consciousness. That's just religious speak. It's religious speak. All right, so this is where the notion of thought comes from. It is thought, which is a function of the mind, which is the first Hermetic law. All is mind. The universe exists in the mind of the all. Hence, there never was a time when man was not. Right? And man is thought made manifest from the soil. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7 memorializes that in the book of the law. All right, y'all? All right. Is there anything else I want to say? So remember, y'all can do your follow-up research on Adam Kadmon. You know, I'm going to show a better picture, okay? Let me show a better picture. And remember, there's a zodiac sign that rules each part of the body. So Aries is the head. So the more when he's standing, his head is the North Pole and his feet are the South Pole. That is the circumpolar zodiac, from what I can see, right? So man, and the more in the dead state, solar or ecliptical zodiac projection. Or Adam Kadmon. So here is Adam Kadmon. Y'all see this illustration with his hands to the side in the dead position, laying with his head to the east. This is why it appears that the head is Aries. His head is to the east on the solar on the celestial equator, right? So his head would be therefore Aries. Okay, but I don't know because the feet are Pisces, so we have to figure that out at another time. But in any event, the important thing is that he's laying down dead, right, on the celestial equator, which is the equinoctial line. All right, y'all, equinoctial line. So give me 1 second. So here's another representation of that. Hands to the side. This is the dead Moor, the sleeping Moor. All right? In other words, this is Hiram Abiff in his shallow grave. The Hiram Abiff. And I read somewhere where the Abiff is talking about the bull, referencing the bull. But I have to go back. I think I got that out of the Devil's Pulpit. So here again is Adam Kadmon. Y'all see it? Standing with his head to the north, head in the North Pole, and his feet at the South Pole, circumpolar zodiac projection. All right? So he'd been resurrected from his shallow grave. And also known, take a look at the triangle above his head. The tip of the triangle, the chief cornerstone, is connected to the rest of the triangle. Y'all see that? There is no chief cornerstone. The whole triangle is connected. When the Moor is standing alive, circumpolar zodiac. I don't know why I didn't recognize this before. Guess it wasn't supposed to be until now. Here's the most famous image. Here we can see each of the images, each of the positions rather. Y'all see that? You see him with his feet together and with his feet apart. All right? Let's see. So, I think maybe this is what I was supposed to present. So I'm gonna let it go for right now as far as the snake, the snake woman. We can come to that later, but I need to make note of this. Hold on. My pen is not working. All right, let's see if this one's gonna do it. So what I'm writing, scholars, is circumpolar zodiac projection. And solar. So let me show y'all. So when you make margin notes and you do it consistently, it's much more easy to search and find information. Okay, so those of you who are learning how to make margin notes, that's how to do it. Very simple, right? Actually, that was fun. That was quite fun. Now, let's go back to, all right. I want to try to finish this up, y'all. And maybe we can get through it here. So I'm back on page 24 in the Gospel in the Stars. All right. First paragraph. So I'm going to pick up where we stopped. Here is the great virgin born, the divine child, whose name is Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty, capital G-O-D. And y'all should remember, G-O-D is also G-A-D. G-A-D is Gad, which is also, we just talked about it, which is also Aries, Aries the ram. Okay, which is also Aries the ram. Okay? Y'all see the connections here? All right. The mighty Gad, G-A-D. Now remember, Gad, Aries, this is the more lying in the shallow grave. We just read it in C.M. Bay's work. Page 38, volume 2, Clock of Destiny. We just read that. Here is the great virgin born, the divine child, whose name is Wonderful, Counselor, the mighty, capital G-O-D, the mighty God, the mighty Gad, the mighty Aries. Right? The beginning of spring, or the covenant of work and labor. We should never forget that. The two pillars are the equinoctial lines. The covenant of work and labor, vernal or spring equinox. The covenant of grace, the fall equinox. All right? Here is, oh, we already read that. So let's continue. The everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. So this is the S-U-N Son, who is the S-O-N Son, who is both the Father and the Son, right? You've seen the Father, you've seen the Son. Of the increase, listen to this. The Prince of Peace of the increase. What increase? Of whose government and peace there is no end. Here is the prostrate one. The prostrate one. Prostrate means lying down. Prostrate means lying down. Here is the prostrate one, deceived by Satan. Of course, Satan is not a devil, as y'all have been taught. Who has been deceived by Satan into sin and condemnation. That's all religious doctrine. Right? Satan simply means the opposite end of the same line in Hebrew. That's all it means. Or in other words, opposer, opposing. So for example, here's a summer solstice, here's a winter solstice. It's the same line. So if you draw a line from June 22nd straight down, that line will go to December 22nd. Summer solstice, winter solstice. The S-U-N Sun takes on the title of Christ at the summer solstice. And it takes on the title of devil and Satan on the winter solstice. Why? Because Satan means opposer or opposite end of the same line. Y'all see that? That was remixed into a religious doctrine. All right? So this natural phenomena was remixed into a God and given a personality and character and attributes. They taught you that Satan is trying to destroy you. Satan is always after you. Y'all see it? And of course, none of that is true. It's just a remix of natural phenomena, which is what the solar, remember, the solar zodiacal projection is nothing but nature. There's nothing evil about it. It's just that it has been used as a tool. It's been used as a tool to create religions. And from religions to create these gods and devils that don't exist. But they're just a remix of natural phenomena, right? That's all it is. So the author continues, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, of the increase, what? The increase of the harvest, right? The vegetable and fruit harvest, of whose government and peace there is to be no end. Here is the prostrate one, deceived by Satan into sin and condemnation. Was Jesus ever deceived by Satan into sin and condemnation? But holding hopefully to the promised seed. No, it was the more. Right? And now they got y'all hoping and looking for Jesus and his kingdom to come to save you. Right? Who is the promised seed? The most illustrious in the sphere of humanity, the vigorous, beautiful, and godly branch held in the hand of Virgo. Remember, Virgo has the branch of corn and wheat in her hand. You okay?
I'm sleepy.
Good? Okay. As a particular joy and consolation of fallen man. Wow. I never saw that. I never saw it until now. Let me circle a fallen man. Well, yeah, he's fallen. He's fallen and he's dead with his head lying to the east and his feet to the west. Right? Look at that. I underlined it. Can y'all see that? Cannot make this up. Pause it on the playback, y'all. I think this is page 24. Where is it? It's over here. I underlined it. Fallen man. All right. So the three ruffians, just going along the same line of reasoning, the story of Hiram Abiff, the three ruffians killed Hiram Abiff. So he's fallen. His head is at Aries and his feet his head is at Aries in the vernal equinox, the spring equinox, and his feet are in the fall equinox, September 22nd. Libra, all right? Which is justice. I'm not going to comment on what I'm thinking about the justice part, all right? So let's continue. Here is the desire of all nations. So this is referencing the deacon coma that we looked at earlier. The great coming one, Boots, reseeding the fallen who cherish and joy in him. Here is his double nature and singleness of person. Here's the double nature, the quote-unquote capital G-O-D is with us, God is with us, Gad, Aries is with us. And of course, God is an injected word into scripture, so you need to figure out what word you're going to replace God with. If you've been following my work, you should be able to do that. All right, so the quote-unquote God with us held forth in holy prophecy. The seed of the woman, who is the son of G-O-D, who is the son of God. That's an injected word. You need to deal with that. It has many levels to it. The son of Gad, right? Here is the rod, the branch on whom was the rest, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge, and of the fear of the Lord, who should judge the poor with righteousness and reprove with equity. That's justice, right? That's 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. That's the spring and fall equinoxes. All right, so the abstract concept of justice has its origin in the concrete natural phenomena of 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of night at the spring and autumn equinoxes, which represents Hiram Abiff, or the Moor, lying down horizontally in a dead state with his head in Aries. All right? I see a spell, y'all. I don't know about y'all. I see a spell. And smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and slay the wicked with the breath of his lips. Smite the earth with the rod of his mouth. What's the mouth, y'all? What comes out of your mouth? Words. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. And the Word was a God. Right? And smite and hit and punish the earth with the rod of his mouth, with the words coming out of his mouth. And slay the wicked with the breath of his lips. In other words, the religious remix of the doctrine. Right? Destroy you with that religious doctrine. Because remember, capital God also means to invoke. To invoke. How are you going to invoke? With words. Here is the capital God, begotten healer, teacher, prophet, and heroic destroyer of the destroyers, yet despised and rejected of men, stricken, smitten, and afflicted, consenting to yield up his life that others might have immortality, but the immortality only comes after you die. Physically, only after your physical death. So, what a hustle. Hmm? Do you like coffee? Okay, let me wrap this up, okay? I have 2 more sentences and I'll be finished, okay? 1 second. And thereupon reappearing on high, clad in power and majesty, as strong and everlasting ruler, guardian, and shepherd of his flocks. So flocks, of course, is referencing back to Butes, okay? The sheep or the bears. And by the way, remember the 2 greyhounds having to do with Butes? He has 2 greyhounds on a leash. Well, if my memory serves me correctly, those 2 greyhounds, or the dogs, those are in the north. So part of the north or the circumpolar projection. And it's funny how he has them on a leash. Huh? Think about that. He has them on a leash. As a matter of fact, let me not say it. Let me show you. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So page 23. The sickle and the crook thus go together as significant of one of the same idea, and show that Butez is not the keeper of dogs and hunter of bears, but that promised Savior who was to come to gather the harvest and souls of. But then that's not what that says. It he's a keeper of dogs, right? That means he has the authority, control over them. But there's one where he says he has them on a leash. But you can easily find, you can Google search that, and you can find that Butez has the dogs on a leash. You can even find it in some of the pictures that he's got them on a leash. And the dogs are, in fact, I think the Sirius constellation. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, y'all. Let me just go to the section on. I kind of briefly went over this a few lessons ago. So here's the greyhound. Here's one of the dogs. All right. So y'all can check that out and read about that yourself. All right. So from my point of view, the canine constellations, the dog is what was being talked about in the movie Wizard of Oz. All right. Yeah, Sirius, page 91. Page 91, Sirius. Let me just share this with y'all. Sirius, the second deacon, confirms and sustains the same presentation. This is the great dog, anciently the wolf, the special hunter and devourer of the hare. Let me skip down. So let's see. Yeah, Canis Major, the dog. And then, of course, there's going to be Canis Minor, right? So anyway, you can also read, so page 91, 92, 93, 94. Wait. Give me one. All right, y'all. So page 94, it says the second dog or wolf. It differs from the first only in being smaller and feebler and following a little behind the first. Now let me skip down. It says princeliness is in him also, though the Arabic astronomy designates them, the two dogs, as prince on the left hand, and it calls him the prince of the right. In the Egyptian zodiac, this constellation has a human figure with an eagle's head, hence a sign of humanity exalted to power and authority against the serpent seed. I'm finished. Okay, I'm gonna close out now.
I'm not upset with you.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, y'all got to read this on your own. So I'll come back to it, but we'll get to it because we're going to go through this. Not all of it, but we're going to go through it. Anyway, so we're going to pick this back up next time. So I'm already 2 hours in. So we just have 3 more paragraphs. Well, actually 2 more paragraphs. And then we'll be able to finish this up on Virgo here, and we're going to go to Virgo in the Devil's Pulpit. So I hope y'all learned something. I hope, I know I did. I definitely did. So Shalom Islam to all the Moors. Assalamu alaikum. I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, I'm back.